I'd love to see them everywhere, bro. That would be cool. Things like that never happen anymore. You know what I mean, bro? I would love to see something out of the norm happen rather than, Chris, like you said, bro, they go to AEW and literally within 4 weeks, there are other names on the roster.
What is going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Wrestling Outlaws. I am here. You know, we have the best backstage conversations. I think our backstage, if we had a Patreon that would just had our backstage conversations on the air, I think it would be quite nice and quite intriguing, man. We have some really cool conversations. Definitely breaking the fourth wall. EC3, Vince Russo, EC3 is trying to do the popcorn game. There that is. Fantastic, man. EC3, how are you, man?
I'm terrific. How are you? I'm fantastic. I'm wonderful. I'm thriving. I'm a world heavyweight champion. I have under 5% body fat. I have, the accolades and, the support and the loyalty of dozens and dozens of human beings who would follow me to the ends of the earth. I have 10 to 20 to 30 to 500. I don't know. Maybe 1 million fans worldwide. Who's to say? Met a nice fan in Starbucks today. He couldn't believe I was in Johnson City, Tennessee. He's like shaking in his boots. Real awkward, gangly fellow. Perfect kind of wrestling fan. And he goes, "Hey, man, I have this friend and she's got a TNA tattoo on her leg." And I said, "FaceTime her." So we FaceTimed her and she didn't answer. Then I sent her a message and I don't know, it was cool. So I'm great. It's a nice experience.
Very nice.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the things that you cannot make up, ladies and gentlemen. Vince Russo, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Dr. Chris. Doing okay.
Wonderful, man. Let's go all aboard on the choo-choo train of wrestling news. First off, Bobby Lashley is no longer in the WWE. Seemingly MVP is not either. So I am commissioned to ask this question. Let's start off with this. As someone who's worked with both Bobby Lashley and MVP EC3, should the Hurt Business form in AEW?
Why would it have to be AEW? Should the Hurt Business form? Should the Hurt Business form? Should MVP and Bobby be free to, create their own creative thing and run hawk wild with it and take it all across the world? Absolutely, 100%. Why does it have to be AEW though? Because what?
Because Tony Khan probably have the budget for it.
Well, I'm sure, if they really want that, these guys have made enough money too, or if they want to have integrity in creating, especially because we talked about MVP prior, and I mentioned, I thought he was gone, by the way, with the way we had that conversation. I had no idea. We're just not learning it. But he is a guy who cannot be created for. He needs to be in control, dare I say, his narrative, because that is how he thrives. That is when he's at his best. And so, I mean, sure, it can go into AEW, and then, guess what? Some match is going to happen, and then their music's going to play, and they're going to walk out, and it's going to be a big reaction. And then the next week, they're already in, the big blow-off match of a main event feud that could have took 6 months to build and been really cool, but instead they just throw it away, and then everything goes back to normal. So who's to say? But, yeah, I'd love to see them do their thing freely.
Vince, what do you think about the Hurt Business possibly reforming?
I like EC3's idea. I would love to see them bro, if we really are talking about independent contractors, I would love to see them involved with every major promotion. I'd love to see them on TNA. I'd love to see them on NWA. I'd love to see them in Exodus. I'd love to see them everywhere, bro. That would be cool. Things like that never happen anymore. You know what I mean, bro? I would love to see something out of the norm happen rather than, Chris, like you said, bro, they go to AEW and literally within 4 weeks, there are other names on the roster. That's
Indeed.
it.
shiny new toy.
Yep.
It's pushed to the back of the shelf, ladies.
Yep.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because I think it was 2000 and EC3. You would know this because you were around at this time in TNA, I believe. 2017, when the Hardys was doing their traveling gimmick with collecting all the belts, the tag team belts from different promotions and things.
Escapade of Gold or something.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like that. I think that the Hurt business would thrive doing that too, man. If they just went around and just be belt collectors. Lashley gets the world title for like all the major promotions, and then Cedric.
NWA is not taking it from me. Look,
that would be a remarkable
match.
That would be a very remarkable match, man, because we've seen both of you go at it at TNA before, man. So yeah.
We had a big weigh-in once. I think Billy Corgan produced it. It became a gigantic fight.
Was that the cluster with the scales, bro?
I did.
What was the weigh-in? Remember, Chris? There was a weigh-in where there was Big Show might have been a part. At AEW. What was that?
Yeah, I remember that. Well, that was Anthony Ogogo, wasn't it? And Cody, wasn't that their feud?
I think so. Yeah. There was
they weigh in at 189 pounds and 188 pounds.
Yeah, it was the boxer guy, Anthony Ogogo, who had a hiccup in AEW. Yeah. So I think that's that would be cool if they were able to do that. But independent contractors, man, do you think that Tony Khan would allow Bobby Lashley and the Hurt and Cedric?
Why are we assuming Tony Khan owns them? There's a talk for that, Chris, and we don't like the saying around here.
That's true.
Come on. Let these guys, let these birds fly. Let them thrive. Let them just rock and roll. Why do we have to always put it in such a minuscule box? Oh, they're out of this place. They're going to go here.
I'm with you on that. I just think that Lashley, I think Lashley has the equity to be able to travel and get a big paycheck.
Sometimes
I'm not sure about Cedric and Shelton.
Because let me tell you why, EC3. I'll tell you why. Because Tony Khan has set the precedent that he is going to pay you more money than anybody else. And what do wrestlers want? The most money. So he set that precedent. I'm with you, bro. I would love to see this talent be spread around, but Tony Khan has made it clear, I'm going to overpay you to come here.
Yep. To stay here.
I mean, it's a bidding war against nobody. Yeah. He's in a bidding war against nobody, and I think that's it's been a danger to the business and the art and the creativity of it for a long time. I understand. I'm a pro wrestler, and I've sacrificed financially for creativity, and sometimes it makes you happy, and sometimes you're like, this guy's getting paid that, and he's drizzling F and S's. But also, too, then, okay, if they're going to go and just do it for the money and go take Uncle Tony's money, mail it in, get 7-figure checks without barely having to work. Why do we have to engage in conversation about them? Because they don't care. They're just in it for the money. And then what do we care? Yeah. So people are just in it for the money. Are we getting a return on investment of our time, which is our most important asset, watching guys mail it in and cash in who don't care about what they're doing? That's fine if that's how you want to spend your time, but I don't.
Along those lines, do you think it would be out of question if Tony Khan hires the Hurt Business just to put him behind an ROH paywall? Do you think that Tony Khan would do something like that?
I don't know. That would be terrible, and I didn't know that's a thing. But also, that would mean he had foresight to think about needing to make money off of this company that costs a lot of money to run. So I guess that's an improvement, as opposed to just, it's free. Who cares? Have some, whatever. Come play. Come into my sandbox. Let me play with you. This is so much fun.
Yeah, we should see. And what I was saying, like, I can see Lashley having more leverage leaving, but again, someone like Cedric Alexander, I think he's in NXT now. Like, I think he's still there. But honestly, if they do the Hurt business, like, that would mean just Lashley and Shelton. Now, the problem is they would cause them to be a tag team, though. And who wants to see that?
I feel this is, Dr. Chris, you're a doctor, you're smart. I feel like we're having a one-dimensional look at the thing. You're pegging them into a hole where, Shelton's in it, then they become
No, hold on. I'm not pegging them in a hole. I'm just saying that this is probably the reality of what's going to happen. Now, as far as what I want to happen, that's completely different.
Then demand better from where you consume your professional wrestling. Let us think outside the box. MVP is super smart and super creative. Bobby is a stud. Like, what if they created some sort of entire movement faction that incorporated individuals and independent stars in different companies, and they go place to place to place? Like, what if my champion in Exodus, Pretty Boy Smooth, was recruited by MVP? He's 6'9". He's jacked, huge, super young, promising talent that, like, now we're platforming other talents amidst the name we have created. That's the way I would look at it. And then if Shelton's involved, that's cool, and they can tag, and then they go in singles. As long as Bobby doesn't take my world title, I'm cool with all this.
That is a great idea, and I'm with you, like I was from the first time we did it. But the reality is, as Vince McMahon would say, it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Well, cool. I hope they make millions of dollars, and then if they're unsatisfied creatively, they complain about it to themselves, so I don't have to listen to it. I won't tune in, but I think they can do something amazing and awesome, and I'd love to see it.
And I definitely agree with you there, man.